Good morning, everybody. The 24th of January, 2021. Can't believe we're nearing the end of the first month of this year. It has seemed to me to fly by. Our quote of the day: even if you win 3 or 4 times, the next victory will not necessarily be yours without trying. Life is work. Even the good parts of life, even the wins, even the good habits and good practices and good growth, good friendships, good risks, good ventures, good adventures, even your wins. Don't start to slack and take it as a given that the good, the success that you've had, the growth that you've had, the successful relationships that you've made, the progress that you've made, the healthy lifestyle, the happiness that you've gained, the momentum that you have, the wins that you create, the forward and upward progress. That just because you succeed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, don't begin to slack and think it's old hat. Think it's a given and take it for granted. The minute that you think you've got it all figured out is the minute you start to lose it. The minute that you think you've mastered something is the minute that you start to slack. And whatever we slack on, whatever we begin to lose consistency, discipline, effort, investment, energy into, whatever we don't use, we lose. Everything in our life is holding up balls all the time, and whatever we're feeding continues to grow. Everything requires maintenance, and maintenance is effort. So every new thing that you have added to your life, or if you haven't added and you've just decided to try to master your life as it is and master yourself as you are, to make your life better as it is by better managing yourself, your affairs, your relationships, your health, your mindset, whatever you've done up to this point and continue to do in your life. There's no guarantees that even with God-given talent, that you just assume I'm excellent at writing papers. I've aced everything, so I'm just not even going to bother with this class. I'm not going to bother to pay attention. I'm going to scramble down my homework at the last possible second and just turn it in. Just because you aced everything before doesn't mean you're going to ace it the next time. Just because you've had successful ventures in your relationship, successful forward progress in the intimacy in your relationship, and doesn't mean that the next time you try that same tact, it's going to pan out for you. If you are excellent at drawing, like I once upon a time was, and I let it go, doesn't mean that the next time I try, it's going to work out for me. Or the next time you build something, if you are an inventor or a builder or a cook, it's always going to pan out. It never works out always. Nothing ever works out always. And nothing never works out, ever. Always and never don't exist. So don't get too comfortable, so comfortable that you begin to forget to put in the effort, because all the muscle you've gained will diminish without use, without consistent investment. And try not to take on your shoulders. Like I said, if you are trying the best to sustain and maintain your life and yourself and conduct yourself and your life in a way that is best as it is, and not add more. Or if you're trying to advance, don't take on more than you can manage properly and continue to manage properly, because everything we own, we shouldn't own unless we take care of it. This includes ourselves, our job, our household, our possessions, our relationships, our finances, our hygiene, our health care, our mental welfare, our spiritual connections, everything. If you can't keep up, it's not the time to ask for more, it's the time to ask for more skills. It's if you find yourself falling behind or becoming overwhelmed, it's the time to return to the basics and start recapturing and remanaging your life again as it is, to go back to the basics of what you prioritize and re-put in the hours of time and investment. And that's essentially what this quote is saying, that even if you win 3 or 4 times, the next victory will not necessarily be yours without trying. Don't assume just because you're good at a thing, because you're the fastest runner on the team, that you don't have to bother to practice and it's going to stay that way. You might lose the next meet because you didn't bother to put in the practice. You might fail that test because you didn't bother. You might lose that quality relationship because you stopped investing. You have to continue the work for the rest of your life. And sometimes the work has to adapt as your life adapts. As your life adapts, your priorities will change. Things that are important to you will change. The things and people that surround you will change. Your health will change. And the things you need to focus on will change. But the work never stops. The man who believes he knows everything knows nothing. The smartest man is the one who believes they know nothing, because they still have so much to learn and so much to do. Try not to take on so much you can't manage what you have forever. And ever and ever and ever. And as you grow in certain areas, you grow muscles in those areas, and you're more able to take on more and more in those areas. And that's why it's important when you pick the directions in your life that you pick directions that and people that and ventures that either pay off longevity, are natural positive directions like self-care and healthcare and longevity, and positive people that you're in the right relationship, because you have to work at it for the rest of your life, especially if you're going to marry this person, and that this is the kind of person and the kind of relationship that is worth your unending effort. What you seek, so shall you find. But that doesn't guarantee you'll find it the next time. It doesn't guarantee you'll keep it without continued effort, continued trying. Day after day after day after day after day after day after day of the rest of your life. Even if it's a God-given talent, if you're a natural singer, if you don't take care of yourself, smoke like a chimney, don't practice, that you won't grow hoarse and crackly in your voice, and if you're not Janis Joplin, it ain't gonna sound cool, and you might lose it. Prosperity in your quality of life and quality of self and self-love, if you don't tend to it, weeds grow. Anything we don't keep up, we lose in the totality of our life. So pursue things that are worth pursuing for the rest of your life, and assume that the same things aren't always going to work for you. You might have to go about it in a different way as things progress. So one more time, even if you win 3 or 4 times, the next victory will not necessarily be yours without trying. You have to keep up the work, the English language, consistency and discipline and effort into everything that you have had the good graces of being given or having grown to have received. Or that success may not be yours the next go around if you take it for granted and give up on the work. Life is work, but if you are investing in the right things, the right people, the right purposes, the right uses of your time, you don't mind the work as much because it's worth it in the quality of life that you now have, the stability, the peace, the people, the health, the fun, the whatever that you now have is worth the work to keep it up. Good morning, goodbye. Plenty long enough. Plenty long enough. Shut your trap, lady. I'm making videos too long for this section. I'll explain this mug another time because I talked too long. Good morning, goodbye.